November 1, 2009. I had been married to my now ex-husband for 2.5 months. We'll call him Steve. Earlier that morning, he and I had gotten into an argument and he left the house. It was now dinner time and Steve had not come home. I had just finished cooking dinner and I started receiving ignorant text from him. He did tell me he had been at the bar that was up the street from our house all day. I called my best friend for advice and put my 2 youngest sons in the bathtub as I spoke to her. His texts become more ignorant. I informed him that he was being locked out and a bag would be on the porch for him. I told him I didn't want him coming home like that and he should sleep it off at his mother's. I locked the doors and put a chair under the doorknobs. I was in the bathroom telling my friend what I had done, and turned around to see Steve standing in the doorway of the bathroom. He went to swing at me, I ducked, and he grabbed hold of my hair. Steve dragged me through the house by my hair. I screamed for my oldest son to call the police. My son came running down the stairs and grabbed the phone. Steve let go of me and chased after my son. I ran back the other way to the bathroom. My son and I got there at the same time, with just enough time to slam the door and throw the lock. I dialed 911 and just screamed my address over and over again into the phone. We remained in the bathroom until we heard the police. Needless to say, I called my mom. She took me to the magistrates, and I was granted a protection order. 6 police officers met me back at my home. They informed me that they had not found him but his truck was still parked at the bar. The officers did a thorough search of 3 Albanian Lex floors of my house, my backyard, my shed, and my garage before they would let us back in. My mom agreed to spend the night with us and we could gather our things in the morning. 2 officers came inside with us and showed us how to barricade all of the doors on the inside for extra protection. One of them told me to call them immediately if there were any more occurrences or if I just didn't feel right. He said the 30 seconds it takes to decide if I should call could be a matter of life or death. The officers left and my mom and I barricaded the front door and the door that went downstairs. I put my 3 kids to bed. That's when the house phone began ringing. I saw it was Steve's number and took the phone off the hook. I then began receiving numerous texts from him. I called the police and then turned off my phone. An officer responded and told me they were still out looking. However, they did post a car in the lot at the end of my street to keep an eye on the house. He left and we barricaded ourselves back in. My mom had me go to my room to try to get some sleep and she would stay on the couch. I had been in bed for about 10 minutes when my mom came in my room. She said she was hearing noises. I came out to listen and the ice maker was making ice. I told her there's always stuff like that and not to worry. I went back to bed. About 20 minutes after that, my mom came back and looking absolutely terrified and on the verge of tears. She said she was hearing noises like there was someone upstairs. She reminded me of what the officer had said about not hesitating to call. As I was in the process of turning my cell back on, I heard what she had been hearing. It was coming from directly above us. This would have been the attic as it ran along both sides of the upstairs. It sounded as if something was shuffling around. Now panicking, I dialed 911 and told the dispatcher we were hearing noises and needed someone to check it out. He said he was sending someone immediately. I hung up the phone. That's when we heard the attic door creak open and loud footsteps on the hardwood. Then the footsteps began slowly coming down the stairs. I began screaming because there have been many times I've creeped myself out at night thinking I hear noises. And you go to check it out and there's never anything there. But there was someone this time and he had been barricaded in the house with us all night, making his calls and texts to me from only a few feet away, listening to our conversations, hiding in the dark not far from where my son was sleeping. Thankfully, my mom was thinking clearly. She grabbed me by my shirt and threw me into my room, telling me to lock the door. The police must have arrived at the same time because I could see the flashing lights and could hear the commotion outside. It was Steve. They got him. To get into the attic, there was another door inside the upstairs hall closet. The police must not have seen it when they were checking the house. My mom told me later that she had turned to face him as he came down the stairs. She ran over to the door and removed the barricade and unlocked the door just in time for the police to pull up outside. She said he didn't put up a fight and dropped to his knees in the yard. My mom told me there were about 10 cops with their guns drawn on him. I wish I could say that my nightmare with Steve ended here, but I cannot. I endured a long bout of PTSD and was terrorized by this man for several more years. He has stalked me, broken into my home, etc. However, this is all I can manage to write for one night. He has left me alone for about 2.5 years now. But I can't seem to shake the feeling that he's just biding his time. So, Psycho ex-husband, let's never meet again. Please, subscribe.